Thank you all so much. Welcome, welcome. Glad y'all are here. Seat, relax. Is that Chris over there? No? Okay, looks like. Well, we got the new Chris is older than the younger Chris, but I don't know. That's a different story. We'll get around to that. I'm part of a semi-acclaimed duo by the name of Faith and Ryan. My partner's Faith Boyd, and we have a duo and a full band, and we do a lot of this kind of stuff all over the country and play around the Dallas area. So I have been privileged to live in 3 very special states. One is Virginia, the birthplace of 7 presidents, and one is Texas, which is where I live now, which has got the most vibrant music scene I've ever seen. I like it better than Nashville because it's more real. And we are the home of the so-called live music capital of the world. I'm not sure about that, but we have a lot of good stuff going on down there. A lot of great songwriters, a lot of performers, and I'm proud to be one of the more well-known ones out of Dallas. And then Montana, what can I say? Grew up my really early years here. My dad was over here on the, ran, I believe, the district on kind of the west side of the park. And if it weren't for my dad and his assistant ranger staying up all night one night, the Big Creek campground and picnic area would not exist because they had a chance to get some money funded and they had to turn it around in 24 hours. They stayed up all night and created a plan, and that's why that place is there. So I've got some roots in this area, and lived for a while down in Hungry Horse, and then we would summer up at Big Creek at the Ranger Station until we moved to Missoula and then to Washington, D.C. area in Virginia. Anyway, that's some background. I'm on the autism spectrum, which means I talk too much. I'm going to try to control some of that, but I fail often. I'm going to also mix in some original songs tonight from, along with the stuff that should be relatively familiar to you all. I'm going to do a couple of those right now, if you'll let me. So, Mom and Dad met over in Helena, and in Helena, there is a ranch, a rather famous ranch called the Oxbow. My grandfather was the foreman for that ranch for quite a while, back in probably the 40s and 50s, and remained associated with the owner and did some other ranching around Helena. And one day my mom and my granddad took me to the Oxbow, to this place that's not very many people know of, but there was this cliff and it had petroglyphs on it, handprints and symbols. As long as anybody could remember that was around, those had been there. And as long as anybody that they could remember that remembered was around, it went way back. I mean, these were probably there for hundreds of years. And ultimately, by talking to my Uncle Topper over there, who owns the Topper wine cellar in Helena, talking to him, who grew up in that area, he said, yeah, it had some religious significance, and it was also a signpost to some kind of war games the Indians played where they were doing counting coup and that kind of thing. Anyway, they took me up there when I was 12 years old, and it stuck with me. And I don't know, 25, 30 years later, I wrote a song about it. And I'd like to sing that for you now. It's called Hands on the Rock. As a boy, followed my mother and my granddad up a road too rough for driving, barely for walking to a place no one goes anymore. This path let's travel became a journey, the way that I would live. And And in the end, there was a lesson, the greatest gift they'd ever give. We're hands on the rock, a painted prayer. We've all been seekers through the ages. Hands on the rock, standing there, I saw the world turn its pages. Hands on the rock, hands on the rock, hands on the rock. And ancient people stained their hands, placed them on stone, no one knows why. His hands stretched out and touched my face as they were reaching for the sky. A counting coup across the centuries, a reason up for speculation. As we all raise our eyes, we wonder at the same constellations. Yes, we do. We're hands on the rock, a painted prayer. We've all been seekers through the ages. Hands on the rock, standing there, I saw the world turn its pages. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hands on the rock, hands on the rock, hands on the rock. From this place in the night sky, we can see a billion suns. If we're here for 10,000 years, we may do as the ancients have done. We'll leave a message in a bottle, far beyond the time that we're here. A message in a bottle, quiet words they still hear. Hands on the rock, prayer. We've all been seekers through the ages. Yes, we have now. Hands on the rock, standing there, I saw the world turn its pages. Yeah, yeah. Hands on the rock, hands on the rock,